What's up, guys? Welcome to the Burnouts Podcast. I'm David,
I'm Sage.
and we are bringing it back. We had an old podcast on our deceased channel, Women Do Meth, and we're just hoping to bring something with more focus to the table, you know?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say Women Do Meth is deceased. It's like spiritually passed away.
Yeah. But this is our new channel, and we're going to post a lot of videos. We plan to have a pretty decent posting schedule, if I do say so myself, as we were planning it out recently. And I'm just really excited to get started, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if we're good with introductions, I think you want to talk about Flog Gnaw?
Yeah. A little soon to bring that up, but don't worry.
Okay, for sure.
I did just go to Camp Flog Gnaw, the festival for youths in bright colors.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very fun. And I went alone to a music festival, which you should never do. There's a pros.
You went alone?
Yeah, I went alone.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. See, you can't even believe I would do such a thing.
Yeah, well, usually, I don't know. Is it only like one day long, or is it
It's
a couple?
two. It's both days of the last weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Did you just go to one day?
Dude, I did both days. You can't buy a 1 day pass. You
all
gotta
or
do the
nothing.
whole thing. Yeah.
Damn.
And it was very fun. Saw a lot of good acts. I like Tyler. He did an amazing set. He like does his whole Igor thing.
Yeah.
It's so cool. He comes out to Igor's theme, which, as you may know, is the first song on Igor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there in his suit. That's like, it's got like 4 panels.
like
It's
just
like
a blazer,
green,
right?
brown, pink, and like some other khaki
Jesus.
color. Yeah, his suit was so sick. And he stands there in his wig and his sunglasses, and he just sort of like stands there like this during the whole song, like not moving as it plays.
Jesus. And then Drake.
Yeah.
Was that day 2 or 1?
It was day 2.
Day 2.
So the whole thing is Tyler made himself day 1,
Mm-hmm.
and he scheduled a mystery headliner, 3 question marks, for day 2. And almost everyone who bought tickets to that festival did so thinking it was going to be Frank Ocean,
Yeah.
who has not performed live since 2017.
Wow.
Tyler comes out a few minutes late after that set's supposed to start. And Tyler comes out and he's like, yo, hey, y'all mind if I bring a couple friends out?
Yo.
So he brings out A$AP Rocky, and everyone goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he does 2 songs. Everyone's like really hyped. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tyler is basically being his hype man.
Yeah.
Then Rocky leaves, and Tyler's like, yo, y'all mind if I bring someone else out? And everyone goes crazy. And it's Lil Uzi Vert.
Oh, damn.
Yep. And like, that was awesome. He did I don't think he did EXO Tour Life, which is a bummer. But he did he did Money Longer, you know, his meme song, and his newest song, New Paddock, and it was great. Everyone loved him. What he did is, apparently, I didn't even realize, there was the VIP section was way too big. It's
Really?
like they divided it down the middle, the whole like crowd with like barricades.
The whole halfway?
Well, hang on. So, and then back to a certain point, there was like a line, and anyone could be behind that line, but VIP had a huge section forward of that line and to the left.
Yeah.
And that resulted in that right front section being way too crowded, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Because you didn't have to be VIP to be there, necessarily.
Right, no one there was VIP, otherwise they would have been in VIP.
Yeah, jeez.
So it was way too crowded. So at one point, I think I was waiting for FK Twigs, maybe Claro, on Sunday afternoon, and there was a really big fuck VIP chant on our side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Damn, you had like your own like
Yeah.
like fuck the bourgeois in
Exactly.
your own.
Exactly. We had
Jesus.
a small uprising.
That's so weird.
So the reason I brought that up was Uzi goes like between the barricades to that back line where there's also like a few cameramen.
Yeah.
And he gets up on that whole like giant setup thing and it's like rapping from the top of it to like cool. Everyone in the crowd behind it, and it was extremely cool. And then Uzi leaves, but you know, everyone loved his set, everyone's still hype, and everyone thinks Frank Ocean is going to come out next.
That would be insane.
Right.
Triple kill.
And there's even precedent to think that, because there's a certain song called Raf that came out in 2017, and it has Rocky and Uzi and Frank and a couple of, not Tyler actually, a couple other people, Playboy Cardi and Quavo. Not that that matters, but like, you know, they were all on that song, so it'd be cool if Frank comes out and they all perform that song together, right?
Yeah, it'd be mighty convenient.
Yeah, so Tyler brings out Drake. And everyone's very hype at first. He comes out and he's like, started from the bottom, now we here.
Oh.
And you know, everyone's excited to see Drake. You know, he's the biggest artist in the world. He had, I would call it a decent set, because he was performing all his old hits. Like, it was fun. However, he did a couple like bad new songs from his bad most recent album that absolutely no one cared about.
Oh.
And by the way, Drake comes out on stage to like cheers. Everyone's happy to see him. Everyone's like, whoa, why is Drake at a Tyler festival? That's wild.
Yeah.
Drake comes out and says, y'all mind if I do a couple songs? And everyone's like, woo, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And everyone thinks he's going to do a couple songs like Rocky and Uzi literally just did 2 each.
Okay. And he stays for like more than 2.
Yeah, he did. And so by song, let's say 10, people are
10.
starting to get pissed.
10, yeah.
Because at this point it's like, let's say 10:25, like, so we're almost halfway through that hour-ish set that we're expecting, and it's just been Drake, and like he's done a couple bad songs that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Dude, he didn't even do One Dance though.
What?
Or Hotline Bling.
What? Did he do I don't know actually what else he did. I was gonna guess Passion Fruit, but I feel like that wouldn't be like concert worthy.
I think it would, but he didn't do that. I'm sure, like, I'll get to that. I'm sure he had more, but he didn't do Sicko Mode either. But I mean,
like the one.
It just goes to show like how many hits he has, which is insane.
Yeah.
Which is why he shouldn't have done his really bad new songs.
I guess he was trying to promote it in some way. Can't blame him for that, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that would be like just giving up if you don't perform your new album.
Yeah.
That would be taking a big L as a rapper. So yeah, I gotta. Okay, but like, he performed this song called "I'm Upset" and not "Nice for What" or "God's Plan."
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, people around me, it's actually so funny. Like, Drake is so polarizing to people. The people around me are singing along to every song and booing him between songs, which was hilarious.
Wait. That's fucking crazy. I'm wrapping my head around that right now.
Yeah, no, like, literally, everyone during the songs is having a great time. Like, everyone around me is singing, running through the cig with my woes.
Fuck you! Like, get out the fucking stage!
No, and then literally, like, when he stops the song, get off the stage!
I mean, at least they didn't boo him during, right? That's like...
Right.
It's like, hey, please stop now. Yeah. I mean, I still think... I watched the Fantano video.
Oh,
on it.
I didn't actually.
He doesn't mention that Drake went through, like, you know, I don't think he gave enough context because he wasn't there. So I think he was also out of the loop in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think with the context, like, it makes more sense, considering what you've said, but generally I still don't like the booing.
Right.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not, obviously I think Tyler also admitted, like, this was, like, not great in terms of, like...
That's the thing. It doesn't make sense fit-wise, and I'll get to that in a second as well. So we get to, like, again, an estimate about song 12, and he's like, all right, y'all want some more? And then at that point, I'd say the response is about 60% negative.
Wow.
And he just leaves.
Was it like, I saw like a gif of him like standing up there and then he goes like this.
That was like earlier on.
Oh, jeez.
And oh man, so the fact that he left is hilarious because there were people cheering, there were people singing his songs. The fact that he left is really funny.
I guess, I mean, I can't imagine it's all too common for Drake to get booed on stage.
Dude, we were probably the first crowd in 12 years to do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm saying
Straight
like,
up.
it's like foreign news to him.
Exactly. No,
like,
exactly.
He's like, even he probably didn't have a good estimate. He was on stage, so he doesn't know. He's just like, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to do my job.
Just him leaving is so funny to me. Like he just straight up saw the crowd and gave up.
Was it like in between a song or like during, or was he just...
It was after. It was after a song. In between, yeah.
It's funny.
He was like, y'all want a couple more.
and
the
said
response
no, and then
was
just...
like slightly majority negative.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. You know, he's doing sicko mode. Just sicko mode, and then he turns around and leaves. Just right as the beat drops. Oh my god.
Man, I just feel bad for Millie Bobby Brown. She's going to have to hear all about this.
Yeah. He's just on the phone, just, Millie, man. Do you see what happened? She's like, yes, of course. I was watching the whole thing. You got booed off stage. Oh, yeah, man. I don't know what to do. Why I made them mad, Millie?
Also, it was just another thing to touch on, and then we can, like, switch topics.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculously crowded.
The whole area or just the front?
Like the whole area, but the front was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Really?
So
you've been to your fair share, yeah.
So, well, I've only been to 2 festivals, you know.
There's a difference between a festival and just concert.
A concert, yeah.
Festival's just multiple concerts over and over.
Yeah.
Cool. Go
on. My last thoughts on the matter is that it's just a weird fit. Like, it's a surprise in the first place for Drake to show up at a Tyler festival. So, but like, that's because like, in terms of fan base, it is a weird fit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone would have complained if it was just like...
someone lesser?
No, just announced. If it was just announced, it's going to be Drake.
Like no triple question mark?
Yeah.
Because what it could have been is it could have been a last minute thing, maybe.
No, I doubt it. I actually... There was a huge hip-hop festival happening in Vegas the same weekend. And essentially, they got every rapper besides Drake. And I should have realized that it meant Drake was planning something. But I didn't put that together beforehand.
I mean, I don't know if anyone did. I'm sure one person. But yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was a big-ass Flog Gnaw section.
Yeah.
I mean...
Do you want to go into a segment? Do we...
Sure. Well, I mean, I could talk for a while now. But, like... Mine isn't relevant to real... Well, it's real life. It's the past.
No, bring it up.
It's okay. I've been taking a U.S. history course because that's mandatory because we live in the U.S. of A.
And you've been sending all these great snaps of ridiculous history.
It's funny because
pieces.
I don't think people realize it, but I think that U.S. history is wonderful because it's like high school drama type shit with a bunch of old people dressed up in costumes. And even for the time they're dressed up in costumes, like the wig party, like they're wearing fucking wigs, they're called wigs. Like it's just cartoonish, but I don't know, there's a lot of funny stories and moments, like especially in the early inceptions of the United States. Like that's like why we have Hamilton. Honestly, the guy who made Hamilton, he was just a kid that was learning about US history and he realized like I could make this a play so easily because they're all cartoon characters. Like Hamilton, you could have done. It could have been Jefferson, or like Adams. Like their relationship was pretty insane. But
dude, Benjamin Franklin is like the high school Chad of U.S. history.
He's insane. Like when they were writing, oh God, was it the I think was it the Constitution maybe? They like Benjamin Franklin was so old they had like guys carry him in on like a chair because he was like the old like it was like
also he was huge.
Yeah, he's a big fucking dude. Yeah. And like they carried him in like he was the wise elder. Like they just carried him in and he didn't even participate that much. He just sat in there.
He was just vibing.
And apparently like George Washington, the sort of diplomat of the situation, he didn't know much about politics, but he just like kind of controlled the atmosphere. He was sitting in this chair with like a sun behind it, and like engraved. It was like wood, and it was engraved. And so, I think at the end of the whole thing, Franklin was like, "Oh, you know, Washington, I've been thinking about that chair you've been sitting in, and I've been wondering if it was a rising sun or a setting sun." and I now realize it's a rising sun. Because he's like trying to be like all like flowery and shit by saying like, oh, I think this is gonna work out.
Right.
And it's just like so like cartoonishly iconic.
That's like some astrology shit.
Yeah, it's weird. But what I was gonna talk about, and this was kind of recent, I don't even know which president it was, but oh god, I'm gonna forget his name. What was his name? I don't remember. But it was the first time that there was like a slogan for a presidential campaign. Is it Harrison? I don't remember his last name, but he's kind of irrelevant. I'll talk about him. I'll call him Tippy Canoe. Because the reason I will is because their slogan was Tippy Canoe and Tyler too. You know, it's like, because it uses alliteration. His vice was Tyler.
So it would have been like the 8th or 9th president.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Tyler was 9th or 10th.
It was still pretty early.
So like Van Buren?
Yeah. It was like
Andrew Jackson?
I think it was either before it was before Polk. I think it was after Van Buren.
I don't think there was a president between them.
Okay, clearly I know my history very well. But this dude, I'm gonna call him Tippy Canoe.
I could be wrong.
Tippy Canoe is he's a real old dude, even for president standards. And so like, God, and the Democrats and Republicans are like switched at the time.
Right.
But like, so the Democratic Party is like old values and everything.
It's conservative.
Conservative. And so like, they're like the Republicans are running like an old guy, and the Democrats kind of make fun of him as being like, ha, he's like a boomer. Like, look at him, he's old, and he lives in like a log cabin and drinks alcohol. And then all the Democratic people are like, you're making fun of us. Like, this dude represents us. Like, he's on the opposite party, but they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, this guy's actually like us. Like, this is what I kind of like. And like, it's hilarious because during the party, like during you know, like polls and like trying to get people to vote for whatever that would be proportionally at the time, they were like handing out like flasks of like alcohol and like hard cider, because like that's like the sort of theme of the character. Like if Obama's theme, you know, with like hope posters and stickers, they were just had like handing out like alcohol, because that was like totally cool at the time. They're like, yeah, vote for Tippy Canoe, and they would like hand that shit out.
Yeah,
and, like,
this rally that's happening at 11:30.
Yeah,
just get fucking smacked.
Yeah, literally. And so, you know, he actually wins by a landslide because his opponent was just, I mean, you know, he just got all this clout, you know, with the slogan, with the alcohol, with everything. And so he tries to make a point, right? He's like, I'm old, I get it. I need to really make myself stand out as president. So I'm going to have a huge inaugural speech.
Okay.
And you know, he also, on top of that, you know, usually the president would like come in on like a horse-drawn carriage and wear like a thick suit. He's wearing like your typical average man's clothes, which is maybe like some breezer or some like coat. Are you looking him up?
Dude, I got it. Is it William Henry Harrison, the one who was
Literally.
president for like a month?
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot him.
William Harrison. I was right.
Yeah.
I think. And so he instead of riding in on a carriage with a nice pleasant suit, he rides in on a horse with an average man's clothing. And he just, like, yeah, literally.
The concept of that.
I kind of explained it all, but you were listening. Yeah, because usually, a president, like, rides in super nice, but he's like, trying to be, like, your everyday man. You know, he did the whole log cabin shit. And so he rides in on a horse, and it's starting to drizzle. It's starting to get a little wet. And so he gets up onto his little podium, and he starts talking. And then it starts to rain. And it keeps going like this. The rain is increasing, and the speech is still going. And it gets to it's like pouring.
Okay.
And he talks for 2 hours. It's the longest presidential speech ever. The longest one ever. It has never been topped. 2 hours or so. In the fucking rain.
His inauguration?
Yes.
Dude, that probably contributed to his early death.
In the rain, right?
Right.
Okay. He's got a month until he's president.
Right.
Remember, it said 30 days he was president.
Right.
He gets sick.
Yeah.
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 He gets a cold.
So he dies because of that, basically.
Because of that. He gets sick, he gets a cold, it gets worse because he's old and his immune system sucks, and he dies. No offense, old people. He dies. He dies having been president for a month in the most ironic fashion. I believe I'm using the term correctly. Literally because he was trying to, like, flex on people and he was trying to prove himself, you know?
Yeah, he's saying, I'm a strong man.
Yeah. And so Tyler becomes president, and he's, like, sort of in between. He's an ex-Democrat, and he's, like, they kind of ran him just because usually for your vice it's like a flex role. They're just trying to like they're running the vice to try to just get more spread. You know, like how Sarah Palin.
At one point, wasn't it like your opponent just becomes your vice president? Like initially, the second most votes?
Initially it was, and everyone got so pissed off.
Everyone was like, this is terrible.
Yeah, the president was like, fucking shut up. You're so damn annoying. So then they started running vices at some point.
That's so funny.
Yeah. What is it? So Tyler becomes president, but he was sort of a flex pick, so neither party really likes him, and he's kind of a dickhead. I think he had 2 wives and 15 kids. The second wife had 1 kid.
God damn. Okay.
So his first wife had 14 fucking kids.
That's horrible.
And then they broke off and he had another one and then they had 1 more.
That's horrible.
It's crazy. But yeah, and I can't. This story is a bit vague in my mind, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
But just 1 second, if you can like remember that.
Sure.
I just want to like the riding up to your like rally on a horse.
Yeah.
Like, okay, imagine if in modern times it's like a debate and Joe Biden like pulls up in like his suit and his limo.
Yeah.
Or like his like Hummer or whatever.
He was trying to flex on people.
And like he's like, and like he's Joe Biden, so his brain's about to hemorrhage.
Yeah.
And Bernie Sanders pulls up on a horse in like bootcut jeans and Timberlands.
I think that would be almost too cartoonish. I think for the present times, it's like if you pulled up in a Prius, and like we're wearing like Converse or just like some everyday whatever would I guess something for more older people. I don't know.
That would be Andrew Yang. That's the
yeah, like just trying to be like your everyman type thing. Obviously, I don't know. I kind of catered to myself there, but anyways, I think to celebrate the fact that Tyler was being president, something like that. This was still early into his presidency. They were like, let's celebrate, man. Let's get on this boat you have, and let's just ride out and have a good time. And so he goes on with some soldiers and some other kind of people because the presidency was a very sort of close-knit thing with the community at the time. Mm. And I don't know who these, I'm sure they were semi-important at least, but they get on this boat, and it's not very big to my understanding. It's not like a dinghy, but it's enough to hold like maybe like 50-some people. I would guess maybe less than that, but I'm overshooting it. So they're up on the deck, and the soldiers are like, dude, we developed a new cannon for like the army. It's pretty sick.
Dope.
We should light it up and fire some rounds. We're faced away from the country. Don't worry, we won't hit anyone. And he's like, this is awesome. Let's do this. They light it up. They fire it off. It shoots off cannonballs. And everyone's like, dude, this is sick. Like, you know, we're living in like the colonial periods. Like, we don't know what entertainment is. The cannons are sick. They fired it off a couple times. It's working perfectly. You
said into the ocean?
Yeah, into the ocean.
Okay.
It's a great cannon. No one's getting hurt. It's wonderful. They kind of pull it back so that it's a bit more centered into the boat. And they all go downstairs. They're like, let's have cake, you know? Celebrate. Let's have cake. Screw it. And so, it might have been a birthday.
Fuck it. Let's be bad. Let's have cake.
It might have been a birthday.
Okay.
Which would explain the cake in my mind.
Okay.
And so, oh God. This is where it gets a bit foggy in my mind.
I can't even picture colonial soldiers being like, hey, let's have cake.
Yeah, but so they went down the stairs into the center of the boat, I guess, to have cake. And like this one of the more like civil people, one of the gentlemen or whatever, had this little kid. And they were like, hey dude, this kid is like a little performer at the time. Okay. He's like a little kid, you know? He's gonna sing for you. For your little, so you can have your cake. He's gonna sing. And he's like, all right, that's great. I don't know what he said to initiate this, whether he said like light it off or like let's go. But
no.
Someone lit the cannon.
I realized the second before.
Yeah. And like people died.
Oh my God.
They didn't shoot it at land. It was still angled at like a good, like it wasn't gonna hit anyone, but like people on the boat like got hit by the fucking cannon.
Yeah.
So there's like blood and shit there, like right on the boat. So he's just like light it off to this little kid. Boom, out top. They hear it. The boat probably shakes a little. They go up. Oh fuck! The fucking cannon went off. I didn't allow this. People are dead.
Jeez.
Imagine if that happened today.
Dude, U.S. like history's so dumb. Everyone's
It's
so
insane.
dumb. Like everyone in general is so stupid.
Imagine like I don't know what would even be the equivalent. We don't have like cartoon like if we had like a mortar that we
Yeah.
just but like mortars go somewhere else. I mean
Right.
cannons are supposed to, but there's like a half second where you could be standing in front of it and get like hit by the cannonball and
Yeah.
explode.
No, it's like if you were like in a room with people and you're holding a grenade by the pin
Yeah.
and it falls off and you're just like, oh fuck.
With the president.
Yeah, in a room with the president.
You do like a seven, like the gun, like fire off the gun, you know, salute kind of thing with the shotguns, and you're standing there, and the president's like, light it up, and then the guy just shoots into the the second floor above him, and it's just plaster floor, so it just goes straight through, and he kills someone.
Dude, that's so good.
Like, yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, we need to have a follow up or a prequel to Hamilton, because we're a great country. Slavery fucking sucks, but we had some insanely smart people. Like some crazy, like there's a good reason for you to be patriotic, I would say. Like we're pretty cool.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean,
In some ways, not like Southern, Bible Belt
yeah.
patriarchy. It's hard to sort of distinguish those things living in a city, because if you say like you're a patriot, you can get people on your ass. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was recently just thinking of when like the North in the Civil War was like, like William Sherman was marching through the South and burning it down, scorched earth theory.
Yeah.
And like I was just thinking, like that's wild. Like I don't know. Imagine being some dumbass in like in Georgia in 1860. I don't know the year.
Yeah.
And you're not responsible for the war, and you're probably not a slave owner. You're probably like a random poor idiot.
Yeah.
And like you hear that William Sherman is a town over and like he'll be there tomorrow. Like what do you do?
Yeah.
You can't get away.
Yeah.
You just have to walk away from your home.
Yeah, you probably don't own a horse.
No, exactly.
You don't own like a wagon.
Absolutely not.
You don't have wheels or any physical means of traveling with stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You leave and you have nothing. And it's like, oh fuck, he's coming.
That's why like
oh Lord, he's coming.
Yeah, that's why like the whole idea of like living, like being born and dying like 5 miles from within a radius of space. That's just how people lived then,
Dude, but that went on like for a while. Like
that was crazy.
To a way lesser extent, but like before like social media and stuff, like before like cell phones like properly worked.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, we had cell phones in the 80s, but it's not like everyone had them.
And they were like shoebox
They were
motherfuckers.
like bricks, dude.
Yeah.
I know someone joked that like dudes in 1993 could have like 3 whole families in like 2 miles away and no one would know.
Yeah.
I think that's probably Zach Fox.
Yeah, that sounds like Zach Fox. I remembered another story. This one isn't as like
For sure.
good. This was
We
during
can move into another segment.
Yeah,
after
afterwards.
that.
This was Jefferson. He's 3rd president, right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah, and so this was during his presidency. Oh God. Was Aaron Burr his vice? Who was even Aaron Burr?
Dude, Aaron Burr was Hamilton's rival.
I know that, obviously. I can't remember Aaron Burr's goddamn role.
He was probably Thomas Jefferson's. Like I'd believe you if you said that.
If you're gonna look this up, I'll give you a second.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, well basically, what was going on? Let me think about this.
This is just proving we don't know anything about history. Mm-hmm. Dude, no, we were totally right.
Okay, he was basically Aaron Burr. I don't even remember this motherfucker. Oh, I remember his motives. Yeah, literally. This literally ends off. This is how we could sequel Hamilton. Aaron Burr and Hamilton are having their duel, and one of Hamilton's family members, like an uncle or something, is like running for a political role in the state that they're currently in.
Okay.
When they're doing the duel. This is important.
Right.
They do the duel. Hamilton iconically intentionally misses, as his son did. because he wanted him to and everything. At least I believe that's the case, unless the play lied to me. And
I'll take the play as
and
fact.
Burr, who was in the military, I mean, so is Hamilton, but Burr, like, fucking just snipes this guy.
Yeah.
He hits him in, like, the gut or something, and he dies a couple days after. And he's like, I don't feel good about this, but I won the duel.
Right.
This feels like a terrible way to quell our feud, Hamilton. I feel like shit. And then Hamilton's family member gets elected into the political system in the state that they're in and makes dueling illegal. So Aaron Burr is now wanted for murder.
No way.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, thanks, I gotta run. And then he runs away. And he's...
Wait, in those times, can he just go to a different state and be fine?
Well, some states it's illegal to duel, but because he did the duel in an illegal state, even if he ran to another state, they'd be like, dude, you fucking murdered a guy over there. And like murder, like you'd cross the state border to get the murderer.
They would?
I'm pretty sure they would. Like, I'm pretty sure they were on the hunt for Burr.
Not, I don't know. That's wild.
He wasn't gonna take refuge in another, like, a state away.
No.
He would be infamous. People would hate him. Everyone loved Hamilton.
Dude.
Most people loved Hamilton.
Dude, it's like, think about the year. No one there has to know who he is. No one has to have seen a picture of him.
He was like the vice. He was literally the vice president.
Okay, and we've got some dumb motherfuckers.
I know, but like, that wasn't his plan, and he had a family.
Right,
he didn't want to endanger them.
Okay, fine.
You know?
Yeah.
And plus, like, you hired assassins, you know? If someone was angry at him. Either way.
See, I wouldn't cross borders to catch a murderer in that time. I'd try to make sure my kid doesn't die in infancy.
Either way. So, Jefferson at the time, actually completely... So, Democrat. Conservative. But unlike current conservative politics, he was actually like, fuck the military.
Right.
He's like, we spend so much money on the military, fuck this, we're not fighting anyone, I'm going to reduce it a bunch. Now the main military is in, what's the place with like, like jambalaya and shit?
Dude, Louisiana.
Well, I thought of Louisiana. New Orleans. Thank you. Nice. Good save.
Yeah.
Our fucking army is just entirely in New Orleans. Yeah. And our general pretty much is this one dude who's like low-key in with the Spaniards. The Spain are weak at this point. They've gotten an ass kicking, but they used to be serious shit. But this guy's like basically like a cartoonish like double crosser. And he like sends a letter over to Burr. Him and Burr get communication somehow. He might have just went to him and he's like, dude, like, I see you're getting fucked up right now. We're the entire army. I have them all in my pocket. We can overthrow this government. We can overthrow the United States government. And Burr's like, I feel awful about this, but I'm gonna do it. Let's go. Okay? And so he goes to the White House. I can't remember if it was...
He's a wanted murderer.
Oh,
he
that's
just
a wanted
walks
murderer.
in.
He walks in, yeah, because it's just a house.
Right.
I can't remember if it was 8:30 or 12:30, but like there's a check-in.
Okay.
There's a check-in. I'm gonna just say midnight because that's more dramatic. He checks in, and that's super late for people because like lights don't exist. There's candlelight, and that's it. So he checks in from like 12 to 12:30, and he walks in as a murderer, as the vice, and he goes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk to Jefferson," to like the head clerk, you know, whatever the equivalent is.
Is he the vice president when he's wanted for murder? Because that doesn't quite make sense.
Oh, it would be afterwards.
After he was vice president.
Yeah.
Got it.
But but the point is that Jefferson is still president though at this time.
Right. Okay. Cool. It makes sense. He could have had two vice presidents. We don't know anything. Go on.
Either way, he walks in and he goes to talk to Jefferson, and there was no recordings of what he was talking about. But what it probably was is he was like trying to imply like, hey, like I'm gonna try to overthrow the United States government, and you should clear my name, or else I'm gonna do it. And Jefferson was like, fuck you, no, because Jefferson's like just a psycho. I mean, I love him, but he's kind of crazy.
Also, Jefferson was like homies with Hamilton, right? Hamilton suggested that to me.
No, they weren't homies.
Okay.
Hamilton didn't believe in his belief in Jefferson, but he's like, I'd rather pick Jefferson over Burr because Jefferson at least does stuff and he's more into his beliefs, whereas Burr's a little more laid back.
Right. Okay.
And then that's why Burr got angry. That spread the whole thing. Yeah, and that's why Burr became vice because at the time secondary was vice. Boom.
We just understood history, dude. The two of us, we've got one full brain.
Yeah, and so I want to wrap this up quickly.
A couple minutes, dude.
Jefferson says no, he leaves. He tries to get his militia, which is pretty much the entire United States Army. But then the general's like kind of... I forgot an important note. I'll just... he leaves, but Jefferson's like, no, I don't need to, because I already had a note from that same general who double-crossed Burr. Because he like cowered it out, he pussied it out. He's like... After talking to Burr, he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I can't do this. So he sends a letter to Jefferson. He's like, hey, I said that I was going to maybe overthrow the U.S. government with Burr. I was just playing Burr, haha. Like, I'm still totally on your side. Don't worry. And so Jefferson's like, he's like, he knows every side. Uh-huh. So he's like, while Burr was talking to him, he's like, yeah, you do that, bitch. Yeah. And like, Burr's like walking out. And eventually, you know, he gets his family. And he's like, all right, well, let's overthrow the government. And then, you know, soldiers start coming over and they're like, you're not doing that. And he's like, oh, this is bad. So he tries to run away. He tries to get out of the country. His family gets...
country, damn.
Yeah, his family gets out to like Jamaica or some shit. He wasn't even going to go to Europe. I think what he did is he sent his wife and like kids to Jamaica, and then he went to like Europe. He like didn't even join them. Yeah. He's like, I'll meet you there in like X amount of time, and don't worry. And then he just dips. Yeah. I think he eventually goes back because he's like, okay. Not much of that of an asshole, but it's just, the main focus of that is just, it's funny that the ex-vice president tried to overthrow the government with the little militia that we had.
That's pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny that little militia was the whole, like, army, like, everything came together for that
Jefferson
story.
was
That's
like,
some movie shit.
Yeah, Jefferson was literally, I mean, I'm not crazy, I don't like the army at all, but like,
yeah, no.
But like, it's weird to think that a very conservative man was like, fuck this. I don't like it. Reduce it. We're not fighting anyone. And then the French and British were beefing because they beef literally always in history. And they were like, hey, we're stealing your boats again, fucking idiots. And Jefferson's were like, we'll stop you with, oh, we don't have anyone.
Oh, yeah.
And then and then War of 1812,
Fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. All right. That's enough history alive. That was the name of the textbook.
Yeah, History Alive. Yeah, that can be a segment name if you have more in the future.
If it's not copyrighted, yeah.
Oh, fuck. We're going to get sued.
Yeah.
I think we can finish this off with like a short...
Oh, it's been 50 minutes.
A short segment.
Sure.
We're going to do a new segment, a brand new segment, because it is our first episode and we can't have done it before, called the Dream Sequence. And something I love doing with Sage is talking about our insane fucking dreams that our twisted minds create.
Yeah.
I've been having some interesting dreams lately. Unfortunately, nothing with like a narrative, but this morning I had a dream that I was Spider-Man, which is very cool because I've been playing the Spider-Man PS4 game a lot.
That sounds fun, dude.
And it's so fun. Just play that game. It's so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I write down my dreams.
For sure, yeah. You can bring something in a minute. I'll keep talking.
Go ahead.
So I had a dream that I was Spider-Man. I was swinging. I was fighting, classic Spider-Man stuff. And that was great. And I think that dream might have continued, but I was woken up by my mom who locked herself out the second she left the house. And she was banging on the door to wake me up.
Oh my God.
And then the night before I had a sex dream. So pretty cool. I've been having some pretty cool dreams.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
I have this one was from, what is this? July 19th.
Okay. So not recent. Okay, go ahead.
No. Well, 2019. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't. Whatever. I don't even know how I want to. I'm gonna just read it because it's weird. All right.
I'm ready.
I was in a giant mall roaming around. I got to the front where there was a truck on display. I don't know, you display a truck, I guess, like a car shop. The cast of Family Guy managed to crash the truck into the mall.
But they're cartoons.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I guess they were getting chased. There was a lockdown, and me and some friends who I don't remember were captured. And we were basically, it was like, well, I don't think you've ever played I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. That's a kind of a deep cut.
No, but
or maybe
it's
just
a good quote.
Yeah, it's the title of the game too.
Right.
Or Saw. But we were all put into rooms where we were being tortured, but for specific things that were weak about us. It's like It's like a story technique sometimes used.
Right.
Where, yeah, it's like,
Totally.
like you have to fight against your biggest fear or something. And like,
dude, The Good Place where they're all being tested.
Yeah, but these were like more like supposed to be like the vibe was like dark and scary and everything.
For sure.
One of my friends, I don't remember who.
Trivia party.
Yeah, one of my friends who was like was like locked in a bathroom full of, and like the tub had like a bunch of babies in it, which is kind of
straight up babies.
Yeah. And I guess
full of babies.
I guess they had a fear of babies, and it's scary because if those are like living babies, they're like
scary.
Well, if they're living babies, they're writhing around in a tub. Like that's very
scary.
That's spooky.
One baby is scary enough.
Yeah, I was just being sexually harassed by a woman.
That's your biggest fear.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I wrote that down. So like, like why? Like, I was just being like, I must have been in a room where I couldn't leave, and I was just being sexually harassed, and I was just like, but that's like not as bad as like bathtub full of live babies.
That's much worse.
Like I
mean, I'm saying the babies are worse. Like obviously, being sexually harassed is bad.
Yeah.
However, tub full of live babies would be worse. I don't want to see a tub full of babies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I low-key have some like issues with my sexual identity, but
Damn.
I don't feel like I do. That was just it's fucked up. Let me see if I can come across something else here.
For sure, I might have like a listed thing.
Sure.
And we can end it pretty soon.
Yeah, I'll just do like one or two more.
Like one more.
One more, sure.
Okay, I have a ridiculously specific dream. And actually, I might have told you it a little while ago, but like it's fucking weird enough that I think we can get some content out of it. Okay.
Okay.
This is back in May, so can't blame you for not giving me a more recent dream.
Okay. Yeah.
This is in May, right after Endgame came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the dream, we all went to go see Endgame for the second time in the theater. We were just like, fuck it. Let's go see those 3 hours again, you know? Mm-hmm. And in the movie, like, the movie starts and we immediately leave. We're like, fuck this. We're not going to watch the whole thing. So we left and we got ice cream instead. Well, this is an ice cream place on the promenade that doesn't exist in real life, right? Mm. The way you had to order was...
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
You had to climb a step ladder to, like, stick your head in through a window to talk to the guy that, like, made the ice cream, like, at normal height down below, right? And the gimmick of this ice cream place was that this guy, who, for descriptive purposes, was a middle-aged Asian man, he would make you ice cream that tastes like your favorite song.
Yeah.
Which
it's a cool concept.
Thank you. Like, I'm happy my brain thought of that, you know?
Yeah.
So, he had a bit of an attitude that, like, he would be, like, judging you for your choice, whatever you asked for.
Yeah.
So according to my notes, I picked the first song that came to my mind, which is Flashing Lights by Kanye West. Mm-hmm. He starts making the ice cream, and I remember, like, it was, like, agonizingly slow because of, like, how dream logic time works, you know?
Yeah.
Another thing about the store was to eat your ice cream at the store, you have to climb a vertical ladder, like, with one hand because you're holding ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's tables on the roof.
Jeez.
So I'm standing at the top of this, like, step ladder. I'm a few feet up, you know, like 3 or 4 feet up, and I'm staring into the back of the store, and he's got his wife and kid with him, like a toddler, right? The toddler, I remember, he looks straight at me, and then he just gives, like, the nastiest cough, like a grown man nasty cough after looking directly at me in my eyes.
He had, like, smoke-flavored ice cream.
Dude.
Started dying.
So the second he does that, the man drops everything, stops making my ice cream, and, like, leaves through the back of the store, like, and I was just left, like, all alone looking through the window. So I don't know.
Yeah.
astrology side of Twitter, what does that dream mean?
Yeah. I don't know. This one's short, so.
For sure.
Yeah. This is like, I feel like that's interesting because it provides an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Whereas some of my dreams are just fucking stupid.
No, same.
So apparently I was in like, it was like us and Johnny. I don't know if you remember him, Jonathan.
Yeah, I barely talked to him. But
Yeah, we were like, it was like, we were in like a sort of futuristic sci-fi environment.
Yeah.
And we were like outside of some big club, some like big sci-fi club. And it felt sort of like a video game. Like we all had like
we all had extra lives.
Yeah, well, like we walked in and it felt like very silly, like, you know, and goofy. And apparently I just wrote, "We demand some pistols and a lot of food from future Beatles."
What does that mean?
I capitalized Beatles, so I'm thinking the band was performing, the future Beatles were, and they were just called the Future Beatles, were performing in a future club.
Okay.
And we walked up to them and we asked for like guns and food.
Like ammunition and sustenance.
Like handguns, like guns.
Yeah.
And
like you said pistols. like that the way you phrased the question reminded me of the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and also and then I at the start we all started just team killing each other and drinking milk.
That's a horrible dream.
I drink too much milk and then I die.
That's a horrible
So
dream.
we literally
we show up at Comic-Con.
we go to a futuristic bar. We walk up to future Beatles and I go, "Hey, can we get guns and food?" And so they hand us each a pistol and milk. And the first thing we do is we start chugging the milk and just shooting each other. Like it's such a cool environment to do stuff. We just start shooting each other.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
I could end on a banger. I could do the Planets of the Apes one.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine.
But like,
because that one's like
quick,
yeah,
dude.
All right, that one's weird. An iconic dream that I had. This was when I was a kid. I don't even have it written down because I was like young. I've
heard this. It's
really
good.
I woke up in the and we'll say, if you can think of Planet of the Apes, sort of like post-apocalyptic. I remember it being more of like a desert environment, though.
Okay.
There was some stuff, some mountains, but mainly just desert. And I woke up. There might have been other people. It's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I woke up, like kind of laying down. I was like, okay, trying to get my bearings of what's going on. And this like monkey walks up to me.
You're aware it's like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it looked pretty weird. I was like, this is strange. A monkey walks up to me, and he's like looking at me.
Wait, isn't this like the main monkey from the movies? Like,
I've never watched any of the movies.
yeah, but like we can pretend it's the main monkey.
It's irrelevant to me. It's a monkey that can talk.
It's
He
Caesar
walks up-
from Planet of the Apes.
He walks up and he says, but he's like short. He's like a little monkey. He's not like a big menacing guy. He's like a little monkey.
Okay.
But he walks up and he's like, hey. And I'm like, oh. And I immediately recognize that this is a dream. And I'm like, this is a monkey talking. I'm like, okay, hey. I'm like, hey, am I in a dream? And he's like, yeah, you're. It's like, this is like Planet of the Apes type thing. It's pretty cool. You can explore. It's like a pretty cool environment. And I'm like, I really don't like want to. Could I leave? And the monkey's like, yeah, dude, it's all good if you want to go. Just kill yourself. And I'm like, and without pause, I'm like sick. I pick up a rock and I smash my own head in. And then I just fall to the ground and I wake up.
And you're like 10 when you have this
I was
dream?
young.
Yeah.
I was quite young.
You're just like, okay, dope.
I had like I picked up a good sized rock. I just smashed the back of my head. I fell, kind of hit the ground, and I woke up. And I was just kind of like sad that that's what I would choose to do. I think I was like, I didn't want to have to survive. I was like, I'll just kill myself. I don't want to have to try to even survive.
It's a dream. It's not
I
like
know.
you die in real life.
I know. I acknowledged it. It's just like, I could have just like had a good time.
Yeah.
There were no real life consequences.
That's funny. We can end like this segment like right now. I just wanted to say that like I don't have like monkeys talking to me. I have weird versions of real life, but it's like realistic in my dreams. Like as a kid, I'd have flying dreams. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I have falling dreams.
those are horrible.
Yeah.
I still get those occasionally.
Yeah.
But I don't have real nightmares, which is lucky.
All right.
Okay, so
That's dream sequence.
yeah, that was the dream sequence.
We should have like a little edit, like a Rick and Morty green portal.
Oh yeah, no, we should have like a soundboard with like jingles for each
Yeah.
segment we do.
We have a communal soundboard here and we just start spamming shit.
That's like every podcast that gets a soundboard, they just get distracted
Yeah.
by the soundboard.
The first 1 or 2 episodes is that, and then
Yeah.
the rest of it they use like one sound a year.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So we are gonna wrap this up now.
Okay.
This is the first of hopefully many podcasts to come. The plan right now is to put them out monthly, probably in the last week of every month, so keep your eyes peeled. I wanted to say that like we're gonna make content, and the whole gang from Women Do Meth that you know and love is part of it.
Yeah. Is this the first thing that would go up on the channel?
Yeah, this is just gonna be the first post.
All right.
And
We'll see. Maybe a trailer.
yeah, I'm just really excited to get started. We can eventually, we might have our friends, our group members on as guests, but for now it's gonna be us, and I feel like this went pretty okay, and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything to say?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, no, thanks for listening. Peace. You can cut it.
All right, that was good.
You think so?
Yeah.